Listen, let me get to this next topic. What do you think is stopping relationships nowadays from being successful? So we always hear about, failed relationships and, obviously divorces and things of that nature.
I feel like people thinking they have more options.
Back to the option.
And
Okay. All right.
yeah, people thinking they have more options. And I think social media plays a huge part in it
Big
because
facts.
it opens up everybody's options. So instead of working on what's going on in home, everybody's like, you know what, like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with it because I can go find better. And then they drop a picture, you slide in somebody's DM, and then they just feel like there goes all those options. That's what I feel like is going on right now. But well, I don't feel like it. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check you out. What about y'all?
So I agree with her about the illusion of a bunch of different options. I also feel like um in like modern times now, women are becoming more independent. I don't know if that transition is because we want to be, or if that transition is because, like she mentioned earlier, like the role switching. Like a lot of women are like more masculine and a lot of
That's a choice.
men are more feminine now. And so, you'll have a woman out here with two jobs, and the man is the one getting home early from work, and and then the same man still wants to go out and cheat and do all this with different women. It's like, bro, I'm paying more bills than you. And you know what I mean? The women back in the days, I felt like they, the men, they came home and put their check on the
how does that
table,
define as a man getting feminine? Because I keep hearing it, I just don't understand what they're saying. Because women get more masculine, they're looking at their man as feminine. You get what I'm saying? I don't believe men are becoming feminine. You get what I'm saying? I just don't see it. Maybe you guys could explain it to me, because I just feel like women trying to be men more, and they're looking down on their partners.
Well, I can when she said that, I can see, because there's a lot of single parent households and a lot of boys are being raised by their moms, so they are becoming more feminine.
But
So
how
backing
though?
up from
Like,
what
what's
she's
an
saying.
example? Because we had women on here calling men sassy and all this other things, and then when we asked for an example, oh, because I didn't text him all day and then he didn't text me all day. It's like,
Well, can I say
Alright,
something?
that's-
That's not serious.
That's immature.
But what
That's
I can
immature.
what I can say though is this gender war that's going on, and this is going to answer the question as well. Have with the gender war that's going on between men and women. So I know they said women had a voice for all these years, so now men have a voice. And now that I feel like that men have a voice, they're using it to tear women down versus everybody just finding a solution. And it's like women are tearing men down, and then men are tearing women down. It's like we can't meet in the middle nowhere no more. You get me? And then it's like women are like they want to be independent. This whole feminine BS, especially black women, and feminism wasn't even for like us.
It
was
was.
basically
Yeah,
You
like-
keep,
heard.
yeah, and
You get me? But it
the
was
crazy part
basically
is y'all
keep us
know
thinking-
this.
yeah.
Black women know this, and y'all still are the front runners for feminism. Like, you know what I'm
Some of
saying?
them
Like,
don't know this. Some people act off it like it's just ignorance because they don't know. You get me? So unless they educate themselves on it, they're not gonna know, and they're gonna continue to just have that.
Shit, they got all
set
them
mindset.
degrees. How they don't know?
Well,
let me
stop.
let me
the small ones, right?
let me ask you a question, right? Because on our show we owe, and I'm tired of having this conversation honestly about women justifying why they are masculine, right? I'm tired of hearing a woman justify, her masculinity, right? So there's these excuses that women have. Well, I have to be masculine because the men wasn't in my life, X, Y, and Z. You just said something very important. You said that young boys are being raised by their mothers. So could a young man ever have the excuse, hey, you know what? I'm in my feminine because I was raised. Would y'all ever tolerate that excuse from a man?
I mean,
I wouldn't tolerate the excuse, but
it depends on what
I
he's
will
being
see where
feminine
the
about.
femininity is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? I wouldn't tolerate the excuse, but men are just built different than women. Like you guys can like endure more than women. Like
No,
bitches-
y'all like beating us down more and expecting us to
No.
accept it.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Well,
like-
I think that well through the acts of feminism, it kind of pushed women into a place of more roles of leading. So because of that, you kind of adopt more masculine traits through certain activity that you're doing. And I think because of that, it has men taking a back seat in some areas, and it kind of shifts the dynamic of who's doing what and the masculine and feminine like I guess.
A man that supports his woman, and even let's say a man, he takes the role of like, okay, well, my woman makes a little bit more, I'm gonna cook. That man is now claimed feminine, but he's
No,
actually that's
No.
exactly what women say. Because you at home,
I don't speak for those women.
Yeah,
I mean,
neither
so
do I.
I still don't understand what makes a man that.
And I
You
still
get what
ain't
I'm
getting
saying?
no examples, man. Y'all saying it, but what's the
Okay.
I'm not necessarily a man, so I can't. Yeah.
But you agreed that men are more feminine these days. You
I
agreed
think
as
no.
well.
I think
So what's
I
in
think
this
more
room?
men are taking a back seat in terms of the amount of dominance they have, how they let a woman maybe walk all over them, or how they speak up. For example, I think I can't really speak to other things that men do because I'm not a man. But I know for sure when I was in a place of more masculinity, I attracted mainly feminine because you kind of track which I was opposite to you. So being in that
So it's compatible with you.
yes.
Okay.
So with my strong demeanor, I'm only gonna attract feminine men. So through that, I guess that's what made I'm getting my idea from.
So in my experience, I want to say feminine, but just like more so, I don't know if it's a mama's boy or what, but more so, the man that wants to take the back seat. He doesn't want to be dominant. He wants to,
You know what that is? Maybe because you come off masculine.
I mean,
Do you?
I mean that could be the case.
Because sometimes when you come off
I
strong, they do want to take that. Because some men are okay with the women paying the bills and okay with that.
I'm not
Once you
okay
come
with
off
that.
too strong, they
I'm
So
not
does
okay
that
with
take that back burner.
is that a requirement to say he's feminine if he allows a woman to pay the bill or pay no bills or whatever?
I don't think so. But I do think there's things that a man will and won't do, and he will and won't tolerate. And what you kind of tolerate, what you allow to go on, will determine that from certain aspects. Not all things like cooking and clean is not feminine. Men should cook and clean. There's no gender applied to that.
I don't think
But it's just certain things that I can't pinpoint all because I'm not.
Y'all love to switch the genders when it's something that benefits y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we cooking and cleaning now is gender neutral, but when it comes to paying the bills, nope, that's a man's job. Y'all ain't flexible on that. But when it's cooking and cleaning, yeah, both genders could do that.
If
like,
it had to be done, then it has to be done. What we gonna do? Lose the house? So
Yeah, I don't
if
see
it
what's
has
wrong
to
with
be
that.
done. I don't
what's
see
wrong
what's
with
wrong with the ladies.
no, what I'm saying is women are real quick to flip the gender roles when it benefits them. So when we say everybody, according to society, men are supposed to pay the bills and protect and whatever the case is, right? That's really not negotiable. That's just set. But when it comes to a woman's role as far as cooking and cleaning and maintaining the household, now that for some reason that's gender neutral.
That's
you know what I'm
gender.
saying?
That is for sure gender neutral. But however, though, when it comes to paying the bills, to me, most men are making more money than women. So it's like,
but that's not what she just said.
Well,
I
that's
pull up the stats.
I don't know those
just had it on
stats.
CNN.
So
I don't know those stats. However, it makes more sense if you think about it. If a man makes 200K and let's say his wife makes 75, why am I picking up bills when you have 200K?
Obviously,
like that doesn't make sense.
That's also like me saying, why am I picking up plates if I'm making 200K?
No, that doesn't matter.
If you're paying all the bills, personally,
then that's something
you wouldn't have to pick up a plate in my house.
But the issue,
But
the issue is when the roles is reversed and the woman making 200K and her man making 75K. If he don't pay the bills, now he feminine.
No. Well, that's different. If whoever's a breadwinner needs to go up the most.
He has to contribute.
So she should have to contribute. It's a different world we are in.
No, she should have to contribute. If she's making more bread, she should contribute.
Even if she's making less, she should be contributing somehow, some way. Or asking me, hey, babe, should I pay for this? Or hey, should I pay for that? We got it.
I don't see what's wrong with that.
So you're saying the time of the men
2023.
The men paying all the bills in the house is over.
No, I'm saying that my partner is responsible. We're both together, and you have to at least ask me if you should be putting into something.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
By the way, that you kept asking for.
What did it say, King?
It's saying some U.S. cities, women are out earning.
In some U.S. cities?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is New York City one of them?
New York, Washington.
Is that a .com?
I don't know what this is. This is like, what is this?
Made by a feminist.
It was on CNN. They did a whole interview on it that women are making more, so they want to. It's harder for them to date. Yes.
Left media though. I don't know if I could trust CNN too much.
It says young woman.
Now somebody brings stats, and now you guys can't trust it. When you guys bring stats, you're supposed to trust it.
But is that?
Oh, go ahead, bro. You got it.
No, I'm saying those stats. Those might be very valid, but we do have to take in obviously ethnicity into consideration. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because Asian women and white women, they earn like a lot of money per annual. Like they earn a lot. Like you get what I'm saying. But black women not necessarily. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like as a whole, as the average income, black women only make like 43,000 a year. That's the average salary like for a black woman. So you know that's probably maybe that is facts. But like I said, there's other things we got to take into consideration. So anything you want to add to this? I'm sorry. Like
I mean, I'm not really sure about that stat, only because feminists still complain about the wage gap. And you know why that is. That's because they're not willing to do those dangerous jobs. They do not want to do coal mining. They do not want to climb these crazy poles. They do not want none of that.
They climb the poles, though.
They climb the poles. Not the same kind of poles.
Yeah, so
I'll say this, though. I could understand what the ladies were talking about as far as men being more feminine than they ever were. And that's not something that I ever saw in my circle, and I'm pretty sure y'all don't have that in your circle.
Right.
It took me to start doing consultations, and people start hitting me up in the DMs asking me for personal help. And just some of the things that I see that they do, I'm like, man, you know what I mean? But I could feel that because I wasn't always like what I am today, right? When I was an adolescent, I had a rough time, and I had to go through a few heartbreaks for me to actually become the man that I am and really learn about female nature and like really dig in and understand what I was doing wrong.
Yeah.
And there's some people who just never had the light come on, and they really don't know how to be responsible. And like she was saying earlier, when a woman is masculine, it can definitely make a man just sit back and just watch it happen. There's no woman on the planet who could make me feminine. That's out. But there are some men that just don't know what to do. And some people just don't. It could be a mama's boy. It could be just somebody who's lazy. It could just be somebody who's not on their purpose and then just watch it happen.
Right.
And, you know, that's why I hold men accountable to. We got to do better. But women, the respect is gone for a lot of them. They don't appreciate what it is we do. They don't appreciate what we are as men.
Facts.
And the lack of respect from a woman, if she doesn't respect you, she cannot love you.
Yeah.
And if you don't respect the man, he cannot love you because that is our first requirement.
True.
Respect.
That is 100% true.
What is it? Women love your husbands. No, women respect your husbands. Men love your
woman.
wife.
Yeah. Like you said about respect is a big thing. I don't think necessarily that men care that a woman is making more than them. Maybe there are some men, but I think it's the level of respect that comes with women that usually make more money than a significant other. There's you're always trying to demasculate him. You're always trying to belittle him. You know what I mean? So that every little time you don't get your way, you're going to throw a little shot in there. Like, nigga, you on my couch, you bum ass nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there's always going to be that level of respect, disrespect there. Like.
And that's where I can see where you guys are coming from in a sense, because it's like everybody's on this high value thing, but I wouldn't say high value. I would say like look for a man of value. Like, you get what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, you make more than him, but there's other things that a man can bring to the table around the house that you cannot do. Like if somebody man breaks into your house, cool, you pay the bills, but that it's up to that man to protect that house now. You get me? So it's like everybody's stuck on high value, high earning, but there's a lot of valuable men out there. Just because he doesn't make that much doesn't mean, you disrespect him, you belittle him because you're bringing that to the table. Because you could bring the financials and he can bring other masculine things that a man needs to do to the table. You get me?
I feel like it's kind of asinine to choose a partner knowing who they are, or what they make. And, you learn this after a while, and then to belittle them. To me, that doesn't really make any sense. So, like, if you're going to choose somebody, then, you decide which aspects of, their personality or their character that you like, or, that you can work with. That's like the 80-20 rule. I get this 80% and then the 20% I don't have. But I think a lot of us are not even paying attention. It's like we look at people for what we want them to be, and what we want a situation to be, as opposed to what it really is. And then that's when it comes to, I want a man that makes more money. But you chose a man that didn't make that amount of money. So is it you not being accountable for your own decisions, and then you're taking it out on him? So, I don't agree with belittling somebody, just because you don't like what's going on. You made a choice to be with that person.
I have a question. Do you think society and social media plays a role in women wanting high value men? Like the pressure that's being put on them, like materialistic things and house and like bags and shoes and like it's so like I feel like if we looked at the more simple things in life and appreciated the more simple things in life, then we would respect a man that's maybe not making six figures, but he's still able to contribute or do something around the house and to a family. You get
A
me?
lot of women looked at Oprah and the Stedman. Let's use them as an example, right? She had a house. He lived in a guest house. You know what I mean? He wasn't clearly on her level. He stood there. He put up with it, right?
Mhm.
So now women, they have men in their house that they know ain't going to bring no value to their relationship, and they feel superior. They can tell him to get out when they want, don't come back when they want, and they feel comfortable and that. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, I find it, women would like to date up or down. They rather not date a dude that's on their level sometimes because that man might be able to hold them accountable for certain things.
Mhm.
So they don't want to hear the shit. So I'll talk to Bum Joe, or I'll be able to listen to Mr. Man that's a businessman. Because the same thing the average man is telling you not listening to, but if he got money, he got knowledge now. You get what I'm saying? I just told you the same shit. I just ain't got the same bread. So what the fuck is up?
Yeah.
I don't. I agree, but I don't agree. I agree that some women are like that, but I don't feel like that just because somebody has money that's somebody you can listen to.
That's what I think. What we have to get outside of is that, again, we have this show on a regular basis. One of the first things women always say is finances. Especially when we talk about men, we just automatically equate finances to a man. They don't get to start listing actual valuable attributes until after they get past the height, past the money, past he got to look good. Like, once they get past it, then he got to treat me good. So those other qualities of how he going to treat you, if he's if he's family oriented, if he's God fearing, y'all don't even get to that if you don't pass that barometer of making 100K or more or 6 feet. Like, you get what I'm saying? So we got to learn, men too. We got to put, we put a lot of emphasis. Men put a lot of emphasis on looks and beauty. And we don't take into other considerations. Like, you know what I mean? So
I agree, but like there'll be men. Like I'm opposite. Let me say there'll be men that'll come and like flashing what they have. Trust me, don't get me wrong. I like money. You know what I mean? I want to know that if I decide to be in a relationship with someone that they're financially, educated, financially stable, or whatever the case is. But a lot of times you'll flash your money at me like, oh, I drive a Benz or I drive a Range Rover or I have a Beamer and I make this amount of money, and I'm still gonna look right past you because you might not have the characteristics that I want in a person. You might have this amount of money, but you might be a polygamist, and I'm not into polygamy just for for an example.
That's exactly how men feel when women just lead off with their education and how much money they make. We just like, okay, well, you know what I mean? Like, don't face us. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, what to you all makes a man feminine? Because I feel like as a woman, I know what makes a woman masculine. And men always say, okay, well, what makes me feminine if I'm a man? But I feel like as a man, you know what is feminine because of what you would and would not do. Yeah. So what makes to y'all a man feminine? Not washing dishes, obviously.
Well, real quick, I had a point I wanted to make earlier, right? It's when we talk about feminine, and masculine, that energy, right? It's very, for men, it's like a thin line because when we are leading in our masculine energy, now we hear these words like toxic masculinity and all these other these words that's just nonsense, right? So then when women are saying, well, we want our men to be more expressive and express themselves. Now when they express themselves, now he acting feminine, so it's like it's very hard because the things that traditionally historically have been considered masculine are now being looked at by feminists as toxic masculinity, and he shouldn't act like this, and he should act more like docile or whatever the case is. So it's a very hard line, I think, for some men because they're struggling. Some men are struggling to find that masculinity and lead in that. And then they also trying to be vulnerable at the same time because we understand how mental health is the issue for Black men specifically. So it's a tough line to kind of cross.
I think it's up to the woman that the man is with to basically give that emotional support to him. Like, you don't want your man to feel like, because men have a hard, like, we all have hard days, but like, you guys do have a lot, and you guys also have to worry about, like, the whole cop thing getting pulled over. You guys just have a lot on your head. So I just feel like it's up to the woman to give him like emotional stability, to feel comfortable like to be vulnerable, because
Right.
it is a good thing, and mental health is huge. You
Right.
get me? So it's like men are actually committing suicide more
Right.
now. You get me? So it just depends on the woman that you're with.
So I mean, you've done a lot of coaching and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
what do you
What are
think?
some qualities that you see from like men that you would consider more feminine?
It's more. It's like an energy thing, right? Some men just don't know how to take charge of situations, right? They allow
Mm.
women to lead, and it should be you as a man. That should just be your default, right? You're supposed to be the protector. This is still here, even though females' roles have changed. Ours haven't. We still have to provide. We still have to protect. We still have to problem solve, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I
anytime one
agree.
of those situations come up where you need to do that, that should be your purpose. When you feel like you could just relax and allow a female to do it, then you're going to be feminine. If a woman can't feel secure with you, she's going to feel like you're feminine.
Mhm.
Females are mostly concerned about security, whether it be financial security, emotional security, and if you could whoop somebody's ass. They want you to know, they want to know that you can make sure they feel secure. And if you can't provide that type of security and all those that
That
I
makes
just
sense.
mentioned, then yeah, you're feminine.
That makes sense.
See, that's what I was trying
Yeah,
to say
that-
earlier.
yeah.
But what I more so meant was, I think because there is so much masculine women, or because there is more masculine women than there was before, I feel like more men take a back seat, or they just kind of roll it. Of course, like you said earlier, not a true masculine man cannot ever become feminine. Like, he's just completely going to just disregard or repel the energy. However, I feel like online, or what you see, you kind of see more men kind of going, okay, well, that's how you want to be. Well, I'm gonna be this way, and they kind of accommodate and pull themselves back even further, and that's where it causes issue of more men becoming feminine and women being more masculine.
But why are we embracing women being more masculine? Like, I feel like it's comfortable to say women being more masculine, so men just got to work around that. Like, that's how I'm feeling hearing that.
Oh,
You
no,
get what
I
I'm
disagree.
saying?
I think
can't
I
agree
think
with
no,
that.
I disagree with that. I think that's through like the feminist acts thing that women have asked for. It has pushed, or I think, how do you say, women asking for certain things comes with certain qualities or certain tasks that need to be done that women don't necessarily know they're asking for it. So because I'm asking for certain things, now I have to become more in a masculine role, and that's kind of how it's happening. But I don't think it's a good thing that
Because
women
I
are
think like, again, I'm tired of having this conversation because women keep trying to defend why men should, accept their masculine behavior or work around it instead of us telling women to just embrace y'all femininity more. Like
Mhm.
y'all
No, and
y'all
they
would rather
should.
tell men how to embrace y'all being masculine instead of y'all just being like, you know what, I could work on being more feminine. Like, you get what I'm saying? So instead of us having those conversations about femininity, we get caught up in, well, if you know women are masculine, y'all need to be like more masculine
No,
or some
they
shit.
should,
You know what I'm saying?
they
Like,
should embrace their femininity for sure.
For
What
real,
about women should? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I've been talking.
All right. Now, I was just going to say real quick, the most miserable women that I ever witnessed are the women who are masculine. The most happy, joyful, peaceful, like just a pleasant person to be around are the females who are allowed and choose to rest in their feminine energy.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
true.
the divine feeling.
I
That's
feel
why-
like if I can't rest in my feminine, once again, I feel like every woman has masculine energy. I feel like every man has feminine energy. Just depends on, if you're exercising it at a high level or,
it's
at a
like
low
a yin and yang
level.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
for the most
If
part.
I can't exercise my feminine energy with you, then I don't want to be with you. Like,
what I
like she
was
said,
saying.
maybe you have masculine energy, maybe that's just, a guard up, or
But
maybe that's a defense mechanism.
I'm gonna tell you, as a man, if that's what you're leading in, I don't want to have a conversation with you.
Facts.
And
So it's not going to
yeah.
go any further. So
No.
I'm not going to try to find your femininity.
Oh, yeah.
That shit should be
I-
presented to me.
Oh,
You
yeah,
get what I'm saying?
absolutely.
It should.
And
Because
that's
if,
Absolutely.
if a man presents his feminine energy to you, then you're gonna be turned off right away.
Exactly.
You
Right.
can't tell a woman like, oh yeah, well I just need the right one to unlock it. If I'm out here switching, carrying a man bag
Right.
and acting
Right.
like a little girl getting
Right.
manicures
That
with
is
you,
crazy.
I can't tell you that. Oh, I need the right woman to unlock my feminine energy. That won't ever work. So you have
That's
to
a fact.
understand the man's perspective too. We don't want to see it. We don't want to witness it. We don't want no parts of masculine energy. We
don't
don't
wanna
want to
smell that
have
shit,
to
man.
unlock it.
There's those times in the house where it will come out. It will come out. But like, what do you mean? If I'm driving,
So your man in the house. Oh yeah, it's gonna come out. It's gonna
no,
come
like
out.
not,
That's
it's not
cool.
No, I'm not talking about towards him.
Uh huh.
But like, okay, so at my boyfriend's house, the lock was not working. And for months, we were just pushing it and like slamming it or whatever. And one day I just got frustrated and I took a screwdriver and I'm like, maybe it just has to like pulled up, tightened, and I tightened it and I fixed the lock. Sometimes you have to just do those things.
That's
Is
that's
that
not
masculine?
masculine
That's
energy.
masculine energy.
If you could solve
okay.
a problem, I'm okay with that. He should have been able to do that for real,
Yeah, he should.
But if you
No,
end
he
up,
was
if you end
able
up doing
to do
something,
it, but it was just like nobody
it's
really
cool.
cared
You took
for it.
initiative. That's not
Yeah.
masculine energy. Masculine
took
energy is
initiative.
what you convey towards me. I'm not trying to hear it.
Yeah.
When you start raising up on me or you talk to me a certain way and you start to lose the respect, that's when it's more of a problem. But if you decide, hey, look, I'm gonna just go ahead and fix this. If you got a skill that I may not
wasn't
have,
home,
it is what it is, and
yeah.
I
So I was just
I
like,
can
let me
accept
just
that.
Fixed a lot.
Yeah,
I
and,
guess.
and women women have to really understand how valuable feminine energy is and how valuable femininity is. That's literally what attracts men to women. Like we could sense that energy. Like I have conversations with women and I could tell off the conversation alone, like whether she's leading in her feminine energy or her masculine energy. It's very clear for men to differentiate that. You get what I'm saying?